So we're live now, and I didn't even look at your. I did not even look. Let me see if I can turn this off. I only have one screen tonight, so I'm kind of screwed. Michael, what's up? Hey, Mike, you're going to have to help us debug some audio problems. I'm trying to isolate my microphone so I don't have the feedback coming through. But I don't think. Let's see. Settings. It's been a while since I've used Meet audio capture. Push the talk. That's it. Speaker. Yeah, this is gonna drive me crazy. This is absolutely gonna drive me crazy. You're saying there's a delay, Jim? Well, no, it's gonna be delayed on the stream from what you're seeing on here. So that's gonna take a bit. Usually it's about 10, 15, 20 seconds. I'm trying to see if I can isolate my feedback here while we're waiting at while we're waiting on everybody to show up. There's a monitor on here. That's what I no, I don't know if I would be able to get rid of it. We'll just do our best. I'll just muscle through it. Just wait on a few people to show up here. So I'm managing three windows now. So I've got the Meet window, I've got the OBS window, which is the software that I use to um, do the live stream, and then I've got the YouTube window open. And usually I've got two screens. I've got my laptop screen, then I've got a big screen over here that I can move stuff around. And now it's just like click, 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 click. What's up, Matt? Chris from Brazelton, Georgia. 19 degrees and 5 inches of snow. Well, we got the cold here in Alabama. We don't have the snow, luckily. Jim, you're like snowed in, dude. I think you got what 12 feet of snow up there. Can't hear Jim at all. You got what? Like what would you say? 4 feet, 6 feet? Okay. Can nobody hear Jim? I need everybody in the chat to let me know if y'all can hear Jim, because that looks like a problem now. Yeah, keep talking, Jim. Desktop audio. Maybe that's the problem. Yeah, keep talking. Stand by, Jim. I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. That might just be annoying to people. So hang on one second. When they go, I can't hear. Somebody's already said it's just like my Scotty. It's just like my Scotty stream where there's I think there was a picture of Scotty on the screen. That was it. All right. We should be capturing the desktop. That's what I need to capture. I don't need to capture anything else. Desktop audio, meet window, capture audio. Boom. All right, let's try this one. All right, say something, Jim. Okay, we're getting close here. Because I can see your audio. It's not streaming yet. Nice. Capture method. We're so close, y'all. Y'all just stand by. Uh, advanced audio. Meet window. Boom. Monitor off. Monitor and output. Tracks. Look, say something, Jim.
And something.
All right. Now I'm going to turn my microphone off since we should be. Let's try that. Well,
and, and I'm back here shoveling, snow scooping, counting on the wind. So I don't know if people are hearing that or not. No,
I think turning my microphone off killed. Well, I don't know. Let's see if I can
love
turn my microphone
technology.
off. Back on. All right, y'all. Y'all let me know if y'all can hear both of us now and
Yeah,
how
I'll
it
just
sounds.
keep
If it's
chatting
awful, I'll see,
away.
see if I can fix it. Can't hear Jim. Can y'all hear either of us now?
I'll
That's
just
it.
keep.
We've got Jim now. Can y'all hear me?
Uh,
Because I'm the most important.
well, I
Are
can
you
hear
still
you, Don.
talking? Talk, Jim.
uh,
You're moving your mouth, but you're not
I,
talking.
I can hear you, Don, and
Okay.
I'll try to keep talking.
Woo!
Uh,
Pain in the ass. All right.
oh,
So
someone hears me. All right.
the the topic tonight is cooking on the road. And since Jim is an expert, Jim carries a kitchen with him, a dining room, a kitchen. He can serve like 20 people out of the back of his motorcycle. Um, and I try to cook as much as I can because it brings a lot of a nice element of kind of like a home element to my adventures. Um, I would like to eat out at fine restaurants like I did when I first hit the road over a decade ago. But I only have so much money, and Jim's kind of almost broke like me, so he's kind of in the same boat. But Jim, tell us about your your cooking experience and why you do it. And is it just because you can't afford fine dining like I can't, or
Like,
is it something more?
I think actually I do more fine dining on the road than I do finding restaurants. Um, I certainly went through, the stage for a long time where it was that little one burner stove and, what you picked up every single day on the road. A lot of canned stuff, I think, at one time, some of the dry packaged shit. But the closer I got to retirement and the older I got, I just didn't want to do that. So I go back to my family camping days with my parents, and we always had a two burner Coleman stove, and my mother cooked as if we were at home, and that's what I ended up, heading into. Now I can do that because I've got the trailer, so I've got a good supply of propane and a two burner stove. And occasionally I do carry uh, a propane barbecue as well. So the nice thing about once you get away from one burner, suddenly you've got that many more options to have things cooking at different temperatures and different in different pans, and it opens up a whole new thing. Uh, you know, we've all gone through that. Our weekend camping where you freeze your steaks and that sort of stuff. Few frozen water bottles, throw them in a small foil uh, soft cooler bag, and by the time Saturday evening comes along, stuff has safely been thawed, and you're cooking over an open fire or something. But now, because I've got a cooler with me, uh, I'll buy a bag of ice and certainly use that for keeping stuff cold. Whereas years ago on the bike, you buy a full bag of ice, and where in the hell are you going to put it? You probably crack open enough to put it in the soft cooler, so you got some ice for your bourbon or whiskey later on. Uh, but it doesn't last long, and it doesn't work. Um, so it really depends on how long are you looking at going out. Weekend is really easy to take care of. A week is not bad, but when you start looking at being out on the road 2 and 3 months, then you've got to be able to uh, either buy fresh every couple of days, or have a way of keeping it cool enough that some stuff you buy might last you for the week. I've always found it a problem, being one person on the road, uh, trying to buy things economically and cook. Whereas, all the portions you find like at Walmart and everywhere else, they're geared at families. So if you can't keep stuff for a few days, you've either got way too much food to work with, uh, or you're going to end up throwing stuff out because you're not sure if it's still safe to eat.
So when you when you first started motorcycle camping, did you have the Mini Mate, or did you go with something else?
Oh God, no! I had a three-person with the old ST 1300. I camped for many years with a three-person tent, air mattress, little one burner stove, and that's how I worked for a long time. I counted on certainly having uh, being able to have a fire every few nights. So the fire was what I'd use for cooking meat, and a little one burner stove was always for coffee, boiling up some small potatoes, or frying up some peppers and onions and that sort of shit. Um, so I did that for a long time. And then I just started finding it harder for me to get up off the ground. And that's just a matter of age. So when I did my cross continent trip in 2008, camped a fair bit, had a passenger for some of that, and realized how much you lose when you take a passenger because that my passenger space held a lot of my cooking gear and tenting gear. So I had to, shrink everything once I had a passenger. But I also found that just getting up off the ground was starting to be too much. So going to the tent trailer, it's not for everyone. It's a whole different thing. But for me, it just meant that I could keep camping and I could travel longer and enjoy it. When I was just on the bike by myself and my regular camping gear and cooking gear, uh, I really, a whole week out, and I was hurting just getting up off the ground. So that was more of why I started looking for a tent trailer than anything else. Uh, what it opens up though is it just increases my level of cooking and keeping food uh, and being able to do that part of the whole camping thing.
I tell you, I started getting back before I had trouble getting up off the ground. I just hated getting down on the ground. I hated getting up off the ground. I just thought it was very savagery when I saw all my friends hanging in trees. And I think the thing that got me was the crawling into my tent. It's pouring down rain. It's like
Mm,
my tent is relatively dry. Unzip the fly. It's got the big fast to do all this supposed to allow you blah whatever. I don't. I think every time I've ever crawled into a tent when it was raining, it got rain inside the tent. And
yep.
depending on how hard it was raining, I was like, I'm done. I'm done. I got to figure out how to do this whole hammock thing. And I've never gotten anything in my hammock wet. Nothing. So
No, I believe it. Now I'm thinking very seriously of adding a hammock to my gear for the summer,
yeah,
but it will be an auxiliary sleeping place.
sure.
I use my tent trailer an awful lot as an office. I've got the power in there, so I can run
Yep.
my laptop, I can do work, and that sort
Right.
of thing. So the 3 months of the year that I've been on the road in the last 4 years, uh, it's like I'm totally self-contained, and that's what's been really good. Um, Now, does it come with some drawbacks? Yes, it does. Of course, it's going to cost a bit more in gas for my travel. Uh, I am going to be more restricted to roads that are easy to get off. So it's one of the reasons why I stick with a lot of state and provincial and federal and national parks because I know that usually the roads going into the campgrounds are pretty decent. Um, it does restrict me in those ways. Mind you, I've dropped the bike how many friggin' times in sandy campgrounds, no matter how well maintained the parks were. Uh, but it does restrict me in where I'm going to go and stay. It's still cheaper than going to hotels for sure,
Oh yeah.
and I
Oh yeah.
certainly enjoy sleeping out in the tent a heck of a lot more than being stuck in a motel on a highway
Right.
or a city.
Right. Well, I mean, I've tried to convince you to come a little bit further out in the woods. Most of it is because it's very selfish. I kind of want to hang out with you, but I don't want to have to
Yeah,
go to a campground to hang out with you. But I am completely convinced that you and I can find some amazing places, maybe not hanging off the side of the secluded cliff, the places that I love the most. Those are kind of hard to get to even with me. But I'm getting to the point, Jim, where I'm not going down the single track to get to the cliffside. I gotta be sensible about where I ride. So I think in the future, I think you and I should be hanging out in some really cool places because, and not just this, typically what I do. is I go find my camp spot, maybe someplace I've camped before, set up my camp, and then I get out on the bike and explore and go find my next spot. I'll go out 100 miles in one day scouting my next spot. And, I'm much lighter. I go find my spot. So even if you have no interest in scouting, I can go scout and go, hey, yeah, here, I got some video here. You can get at this, can't you? You can go through this, and it's relatively flat. It's not a lot of ruts, um, or no ruts at all. It's a dirt road, and then usually the hardest thing is the last 50 feet. You want to get off the
Yeah.
road. You
Yeah.
you might have
Now, hard,
some little rough area to climb up, but that last spot that I camped in Grand Mesa, the stuff that I'm putting out now is you could have easily gotten in there. Just go slow.
hard, hard packed gravel, I've got no problem with at all.
Yeah,
It's only the loose shit. That's
yeah,
where and sandy stuff. I don't mind doing a decent gravel road.
yeah,
Uh, it's for me it's been the finding of it. Now in 2024, because I was doing so much traveling, uh, I really didn't have time to explore all of my options every night.
yeah,
Uh, so I relied on, I've got, the BLM book and the National Forestry Services book, and the um Corps of Engineers in the U.S. as well.
yeah.
And I did rely on those a lot in 2022 and 2024 in the U.S. Now in Canada, we don't have quite the same setup.
Right,
Uh, Most provinces you can camp on Crown land.
right.
There are certain permits you have to get in Ontario. I know there's a permit that will pretty well let you camp the whole year round and it's pretty cheap. Here in Newfoundland, any Crown land is available to camp on
Like for free.
now for free.
Okay.
Yeah. So we've always had problems in the past with people parking their trailers in a gravel pit and
Yeah.
leaving it there all summer.
Oh, sure.
And the issue with that is sanitation.
Sure.
So the province cracked down on that a bit.
Yeah.
But technically, if I pull off a dirt road within 200 yards of the main highway, I'm on Crown land.
Yeah.
And if I find a clearing, I can camp there.
Right.
My issue is only because I'm riding that old Goldwing and
Yeah.
pulling the trailer. It is really I always have to walk in first to see if I can actually make it in.
Well, I will say that I camp with a lot of guys our age, um, and not everybody's got a dirt bike that they can ride into the woods. So I'm always, anytime I'm camping with somebody else, I'm always thinking, well, I don't know what their skill level is, or they're riding
Yeah,
a big bike. I'm gonna go somewhere safe. So if I'm gonna meet somebody, it's like, which is kind of why I hung out in Grand Mesa so long. I was supposed to have like three other people other than Rusty that would come into Grand Mesa to meet me, and only had one of them that finally showed up, but not on Grand Mesa. Anyway, I'm always thinking I need to find a place that everybody has access to, and you're probably um, one of the few people that's like, yeah, you're next level because you're pulling a trailer. You're not only pulling a heavy bike, you're pulling a trailer. Which, well, Bill, I can't with Bill. Bill pulls a gold wing in a trailer. So, but I think he's been doing the rougher stuff for a while. So I think he's a little bit more comfortable with
yeah,
going in. And anyway, but yeah, I mean, it's something I always think about when I'm camping with other people, especially if I haven't camped with them before. Then, what are you riding? If you're riding a KLX, and 20 pounds of gear, you're like, ah, shit, we can go anywhere. But
yeah,
most of the time, it's I got to be careful. I don't know this guy. I don't know his skill level. I don't know, if he's carrying. his RV on the back, if he's riding three up. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about your three-person tent. That sounds kind of kinky. How'd you get those two ladies on the back of the bike?
Well, no, anyone who's into bikes knows that you do not ever go out in a one-person tent. Your gear takes up another person, and if you want to turn around, you need the third person space. Uh, I have had a couple of backpacking tents in my day, and they were good tents, expensive tents, but boy, they were small. Uh, they would take a hurricane, and they were great in a storm, but I had no room in them. So my cheap three-person tent was really good because it gave me enough space where I had my bed space, my gear space, and I could actually turn around
Yeah, yeah,
space.
yeah.
Um,
I had a one-person tent for about 2 weeks. It's like this is a bivvy. This is not a tent. This
yeah,
is you can
it's for
barely crawl in
backpackers.
it. You got no room for stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, it's for backpackers. That's it.
yeah,
Uh, once we're dealing with our helmet, our jacket, our pants, and our boots, that's another whole fucking person.
right.
Uh, but no, I end up I still use my three-person tent at times when I know I've got company coming to my campsite.
Sure, sure.
So if I've got two or three people coming to my campsite, I make sure I've got that along with me.
Well, at least you're not
Uh,
the one crawling around like a savage on the ground in there, right?
oh no, I won't do that anymore. Just won't do that. Uh,
I have accommodations for savages only. Unless she's hot, then you can come in my. You can come in the hotel.
well, this is more accommodations for someone's kids than for her. Uh, anyway, that's a whole different story.
Well, so I'm going to try to pull up some of the videos you sent me here and see if we can get those rolling. Might be
And
tricky. Go ahead. Anything you want to talk to while I'm preoccupied pulling up this other stuff?
well, it's like talking about cooking. Even when I just had the one burner stove, I used to carry a 6-inch cast iron pan with me because I found my really backpacking stainless steel set. The walls were in it were just so thin that everything burned. I could not regulate the heat enough. Everything burned. So I started going to the cast iron, and right now I carry a 6-inch, a 7-inch. I did carry a 10 for a while, but I've got a 10-inch or 7-inch wok now that I carry. Uh, but I do have a variety of pans. It's it's like people asking me if I carry iron. Yeah, I do, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
a cast iron
Right.
pan. Um, and I found those were a big game changer when I started to cook and really get heavily into the cooking in camp because I could regulate the heat much better. Um, so it's and then that opens up a whole bunch of other things you can cook both fresh uh, and either from packages or whatever. I've stayed away from all the packaged dehydrated meals.
Yeah.
I won't. I
Why is
just won't
that?
touch. Well, one, okay, here in Canada, a Mountain House meal, uh, it might be $12, which is absolutely ridiculous. I can cook something much better for $4 or $5. Uh, and if occasionally I want to go to something better, between pork chops and uh, chicken breasts and stuff like that, I can pick those up cheap. Uh, get my occasional steak. This past summer, here in the province, we had a total fire ban on for the whole summer. So everything I cooked, and I camped for 51 nights this year. Everything I cooked was on the propane stove or the propane barbecue that I was carrying, but no fires. I would have to, if I was just on the bike, I would have to rely on being able to cook meat on fire, a couple times a week. But this past summer, I legally would not be allowed to do that. So that
Yeah.
was, one of the things with just having the amount of gear that I can carry. Otherwise, I would have been, stuck with that one burner stove and basically what you can boil or fry individually. You certainly can't cook potatoes and fry a pork chop at the same time. You're stuck with cooking one thing, then cooking the other, some of it being hot and some of it being lukewarm by the time you get to eat it.
Well, I got to tell you, I would love to have some cast iron, but just the weight, and yeah, I don't know. I've got a tiny little skillet. Well, it's I don't know, 8 inch maybe, um,
Look, I traveled for
non-stick,
a
but
long time. A long time I traveled on the bike with just that 6 inch, what I called my egg pan, and cast iron, and perfect for a couple of strips of, a little bit of bacon in it, an egg, um, and that worked for me for a long time.
yeah.
Having the two burners meant that yes, I could cook two different things. But even when I was just on the ST with the tent and all that other shit, I still had the egg pan, that cast iron pan with me. No.
Well, I'll tell you, I have what is essentially a two burner myself. Um, that little grill that I carry, which is it's
Oh
basically
yeah.
a grill and a steak that goes in the ground. As long as you got firewood, I got like almost like a three burner. I mean, if you got enough fire, you can cook a lot of stuff, and then if you want to cook some meat or something, just pull some coals over the side. I'm blown away about how easy that thing is to cook on. And not just that, it's adjustable. You can swing it away from the fire, you can put it down in the fire, you can move the fire completely away, just have coals. You can cook, golly, you can probably cook six steaks on there. It's really cool. Anyway,
That's actually a nice little rig. I appreciate that. Matter of fact, when you did one of your early things on that and small stoves, I did buy I break down uh, fire stove that could be used for either firewood or for coal.
yeah,
And then, of course, this whole year we had a fire ban on, and even
yeah,
charcoal was not allowed.
yeah, that sucks.
Uh, I'm still waiting to use it.
Let's pull up your. I guess that was a short video. What happened? Oh, it's just a pause, I guess. Yeah, it looks like you're at some kind of campground thing. People should not be confused. You don't have an awesome sink like that. I don't guess you can
Oh,
see
that was
what's going
I was
on.
doing laundry.
Yeah, you're doing laundry. Yeah.
Doing
Well, let's talk about
laundry in a
laundry.
dry
Let's
bed.
talk about laundry real quick. 'Cause, I mean, you stay in a lot of campgrounds. Are there a lot of laundry facilities at the campgrounds or no?
Just about all of the campgrounds I've been in do have laundry facilities. All the
Yeah.
provincial ones here in the province do have coin operated laundry and pretty cheap. But I've gotten in the habit that if I'm 3 or 4 days in and I know I'm going to be 4 or 5 days before doing laundry, I will do laundry in a dry bag. I'll throw and it's mostly, socks and underwear. That's all. But 3 or 4 days in a dry bag. Uh, I use Dr. Bronner's soap a lot.
Hmm.
Throw a bit of that in, and just shake the shit out of that for agitate it for 3 or 4 minutes or so, and then rinse it a couple of times, and I've got clean clothes that are going to last me another 4 days. Um, I will do coin operated laundry or end up making sure I've made sure I'm going to stay with a friend or a relative once a week to do catch up laundry. But what are you wearing on the road? I've got my riding pants, and under that, and they're mesh. I'm usually just, it's socks and underwear, a t-shirt or a long sleeve tee, and almost all of that. Like I'll change my socks and underwear daily, so I'll carry like 7 pairs. But t-shirts and long sleeve tees, I got 2 short sleeve, 2 long sleeve, and that's it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I carry 1 pair of jeans just because.
Just in
I
case you want to go
very
out.
in case I want to go out. And around camp, I'll be very honest. I wear a utility kilt most of the time in
Ah,
camp.
look at you.
It's it's really easy to slip on. And the great thing is, if you go to have a shower, going into one of those showers in a campground, you take your jeans off and you just drug them through wet.
What?
And the utility kilt, you just unfasten and unwrap and walk into the shower. And you come back out, you wrap it around yourself again and walk, and all your clean clothes don't end up, nothing touches the ground.
Okay.
So it's been one of my best investments as far as camping goes. And it's
Well,
airy.
have you done like a day in the life? Because I got some pretty good reactions on that the day, and people have been asking for it forever too. They kind of wanted to see the whole routine, and
Yeah.
I don't know if you've actually done one of those because I think you and I both would. Our impression would be that's going to be boring. Just me seeing me pick my nose and wipe my ass, and I'm sure nobody wants that much detail, but kind of here I get up in the morning, I make breakfast, I do this, then I go do this. You and I might think that that's boring, but I think a lot of people would go, "Oh, I did not know he had to do that. I didn't know that's how you did that." Or so I kind of get that, and judging by the reactions, I don't know. So have you ever done anything, all the boring stuff like you're doing laundry now? Most people would say, "Oh my God, why is he doing laundry?" Because a lot of people don't know how to wash their clothes without a washer and dryer, right? I think that's
Yeah.
very interesting.
I've got a lot of older videos that do show pretty well full days of stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Set up, cooking from start to finish, you know, uh, and I think this summer, because I'm getting a lot of feedback, because of course I've got a lot of newer subscribers who
Right.
don't go back and look at the old stuff.
Me.
So this summer, I'm looking at, okay, here in the province of Newfoundland, we've got about 20 really nice campgrounds. And I'm actually going to do a tour of all of those campgrounds. So I will be doing a lot more of all of the stuff that you do, um, setting up, water management, cooking, laundry, and what each campground has for amenities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
all similar, but they're all different.
Sure.
It's like a couple of them have got really, really good showers. And yet, one of my favorite campgrounds has got the shittiest showers of all the campgrounds in the province.
Because it's awesome. They don't have to fix it. It's also it's so awesome they
No,
don't have.
they got sold on a propane on-demand water heating supply.
Ah,
But the
okay.
problem is most of the showers have got a push button water release that, of course, is timed. You push it in, and it doesn't build up enough water going through to heat up. But in that case, you go into the wheelchair accessible stall, and it's got actually got a tap, so you can turn it on and it stays on, and that's the one you use because that's the one that's going to warm up and be good. But um, but the regular showers are just absolutely horrible, and
Yeah.
the guys who work that campground, they all know it. I've had them apologize to me so many times and tell
Yeah.
me to just, complain to the province. But yeah, a lot of people want to see what we're doing on a day-to-day basis and try to get an idea of how to cope or what they could use in their own camping. Um, and I have done most of that at one point or another, but they don't go back and look. So it's like this summer I'm going to have to renew a lot of that information.
Well, I think apparently there's a lot of people that are interested in it, so I don't think it would be wasted effort. In other words, let's
No.
catch up on some of these chats real quick. I haven't really talked to anybody. Uh, Brian, of course, made an ass out of himself. It's all about Brian. Brian, me, 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 me. Look at me. So uh, I had to ban him on both of his accounts. I banned him on one. He logged back in and says, "If you want to see a real biker, go check out my channel." So yeah, Brian's having a little. He's must be on his period today. Michael from Pace, 99% of your campsites at what? Yeah, dude. I think the people that have seen me go in, I probably should do a little bit more um, focus on how I'm finding my campsites because, especially
Yeah.
nowadays, I'm not gonna get like I was telling you, I'm not gonna go into the single track. I'm not gonna climb up the side of a slippery gravel hill to get up to my campsite. It's too many danger. Shit, it was like that. It was like that 3 years ago. I dropped my big heavy bike. I can't pick it up. Yeah,
Yeah. In
tons
2024,
of
I found that
what's that?
even though I was looking at my BML campsite book a lot and trying to make use of it,
Yeah,
I found that uh, I went past places before I knew that they were there to turn off to take a look at.
sure.
You really got to be looking for those spots, and it depends on how you're traveling. Now, in 2024, I was, as I said before, I was traveling too much for the sake of traveling,
Right.
uh, and I
Moving, you
wasn't
mean?
moving. Yeah,
Just
uh,
going.
I I really enjoyed that ride, and there was a lot of places I saw, but it was mostly to see. I saw a lot of old friends and people who I probably will not see again in my lifetime.
Right.
Um, so that was dictating that type of pace. It wasn't just uh, traveling to find a really nice place to stay for a few days and then moving on to another nice place to stay for a few days. It was I don't have to do a lot of miles every day, but I have to do steady miles every day,
Right.
which dictated some of the things. Um, and then getting back to a little bit to cooking, uh, I was riding, you know, August is a hot month just about anywhere. And I found that in August, I probably stopped at more Walmarts and bought their $5 salad kits than anything else.
$5 what
Uh,
kit?
salad kits,
Oh, the bags of salad.
bags of salad or the plastic thing with might be a little bit of chicken in it,
Hmm.
bacon croutons. That's for, but I did a lot of that because it was just too hot to cook.
Yeah.
Uh, definitely, I was doing, coffee every day, and most of my breakfasts I cooked. But during the day, and especially late in the day, I took advantage of uh, cheese, smoked mussels, crackers. Those were what were my mainstay a lot, just because of the heat.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't really know what you're talking about heat. That's why I go to the Rockies. It's like, join me, man. Hot
mm,
to me, hot to me is it's blistering hot if it's like 80, 82. I was like, I'm not high enough. I need to go up another 1,000 feet, or
yeah.
I like the 70s, man. It's like
Oh yeah. No, I did far too many days in the high 90s.
Yeah. I could
And
do that
camped
here in
overnight.
Alabama.
Yeah, camped a lot of nights when the low was in the 80s. No,
Yeah, no, no. If I'm gonna hang in the 80s and 90s, I might as well stay home in Alabama. Go to
yeah,
Florida. Go to the desert. 120. Although I do have to
well,
cross deserts. I'm trying to figure
yeah,
out a way to avoid that, and the only thing I can think of is riding at night. I don't like riding at night anymore. But
no,
I've never ridden through a desert at night, so maybe
I have.
that's always kind of been. So my dream was always riding through the desert in a convertible, you know, on
Yeah,
mushrooms or something. It's like I'm thinking Hotel California, long desert highway, cool breeze in my hair. Yeah, I'm just thinking,
well,
yeah, and I've never done that. So, but yeah, I used
I
to love
just
riding at night, and I don't anymore. Just too many critters.
I just put up a video of going through Joshua Tree, and it was
Yeah,
104 or better.
yep.
Uh, that was in 2024. Now, in 2008, my friend and I got absolutely cooked getting into Las Vegas,
Uh,
and it was 113 degrees. And we ended up at a cheap motel with air conditioning off the strip. And we basically stayed there from 11 in the morning to 11 at night, and then
right.
headed to Los Angeles overnight.
Yeah,
And it was down to probably 95 degrees when we finally left. I'll tell you, it was quite interesting because it was a Friday night, and us heading out of Las Vegas, there was no traffic on our side of the highway. All the traffic was on the other side heading into Vegas. Uh, but it was lots of stars, beautiful night. It was actually a good ride. We were coming over the crest, and suddenly the San Bernardino Valley the lights were horizon to, all the way across the horizon.
yeah,
And we'd just come through the desert where there was no lights. It was pleasant riding, and then suddenly into civilization.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah, I kind of wish I was out in the desert right now because I don't like in the desert any other time but winter, and it's
yeah,
magical in the winter. It's just kind of dealing with the weird weather out there because it rains in the winter in the desert, and there's a lot of wind. It's just not the best situation for fabric camping. That's what I tell my friends that want to
yeah,
go out there. It's like, man, go out there and it's fantastic because wind, rain, no big deal. But if you're getting beat up in a hammock or a tent or even a rig like yours, um, day after day after day, 50 degrees turns to misery. 50 degrees to me would be an amazing day. But when you're getting pounded by wind and rain and every day, it's just like it sucks. So, and
yeah.
it's hard to run from it in the desert too. So, where do you go?
It's really difficult for us to find the perfect time to go anywhere.
Yep.
It's like me trying to figure out in 2024. It's like I was leaving Newfoundland in July, and I wanted to escape as much heat as possible. So I stayed in Canada and the northern states until the end of August, because I knew how hot it was going to be uh, anywhere south. Mind you, I had 108 degrees in North Dakota. It was, that's pretty freaking hot. Um, and then coming down down through California, Oregon, and California, I was mostly along the shore, so that was all pretty pleasant, warm, but pleasant weather. But I knew I had planned coming back across the southern states that I'd be, mid-September into October, and hoping that that meant that I was missing the worst heat. Uh, almost worked, almost.
Hmm. Well, so what's your plans this spring, summer? Jim, you're staying north, aren't you? You're not really coming south, are you?
I am staying north. I had hoped to do um, what I'm going to mostly do is what I had planned for last summer, and that's basically a travel log of all the provincial parks in Newfoundland. A really good tour through Newfoundland,
Yeah.
uh, spending a few days in all the major areas, uh, and I'll be in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick for a bit. Might be on into Ontario because I've got a rally I might go up to in early September. Um, but it's going to be it's going to be on the East Coast and within Canada this year.
Okay. Well, yeah, I was talking to Rusty the other day about maybe doing an East East Coast run early spring. Um, can't remember if he said he's been. I did a Nova Scotia run years ago and just thoroughly enjoyed that. And I stealth camped all
Yeah,
the way up. I think I stayed at a hotel one night. I think it was rainy and oh man, it was so cold the whole trip. It was rainy and cold the whole trip, but I had such a blast. See, ate all I ate all of y'all seafood all the way up and all the way
good.
back. And if any of it's missing, I ate it all. So, but yeah, we were talking about maybe doing another trip up there in the spring. So we might run into each other anyway. I don't really
I'll
have
be
any
in
plans so far. I just want to do my normal loop and get back out to the
I'll
rock
be in
at
Nova
some point. Usually
Scotia.
that's I
I'll
need to
be in Nova
be out
Scotia
of the
probably.
heat by at least by June. I need to be out in the mountains and enjoying myself by June. But that could be
Yeah,
Canadian Rockies too. So I don't know if you're probably not
yeah.
going to even get down that far, are you?
I'm not going to go that far across the
Yeah.
continent. I'll be in Nova Scotia probably the last week of June, first 2 weeks of July, maybe, and then back to Newfoundland. I think I'll probably go back over to Nova Scotia the end of August. I
Yeah.
might go to the Wharf Rat Rally
Oh,
just
that'd
because
be cool.
I've always been very very far away when that
Yep.
happens. It's a Labor
Right.
Day weekend, I think. So I've been thinking about doing that, um, but I'm still just juggling some of my plans for this summer.
Okay.
Um, it won't be. I'll be looking at doing a lot more camping than long distance riding.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
no,
Just soaking it in. Well, that's kind of what I do. I get up and I just kind of park. I park
yeah,
until I call it the wind, when the wind starts blowing. And that typically means I'm bored or I want to see some, I want to, you know, I need some replacement neurochemicals. And, that means riding or
yeah,
seeing something new. And uh, anyway, but yeah, as long as I'm in the mountains, usually I'm pretty happy and I can camp for days, a couple of weeks. But yeah, you're probably not gonna see me up north in August. Just too many bugs, too hot, and it's too far away from the Rockies. But maybe I don't know when you're thinking about getting out, but maybe in the spring, maybe we'll be close enough to I don't know Newfoundland and what would that be? May, maybe that would probably be the latest that I would want to be up there. Is May,
actually,
but
actually, that's too early.
that's too early. Yeah, that
Too early.
people. I did that Great Lakes tour a few years back, and everybody said it's too early. And I'm like, y'all are a bunch of pussies. Y'all are a bunch of. I froze my balls off. It was cold and wet, and I should have listened, but it was fun. You know,
Yeah.
might
No,
as well have been winter.
our really Newfoundland is really good from about the very end of June till about mid-September.
Yeah.
And especially once you get through to August, our big bug time, mosquito time, it's gone.
Yeah.
So August through middle of September is a really good camping year.
I'm gonna pop in this other video, and then I'm gonna see if anybody has any questions for you and
Yeah,
your adventures. Because
I'm going to
I'm
take.
really curious how many people are subscribers or they watch you guys. So if you're if you
I'm
watch
going to
Jim
do a
already,
repoll.
y'all drop a comment. I would like to know how many folks are watching already. Damn, I can't get rid of these ads. Oh my God. Oh, there we go. Okay. So yeah, how many people are watching Jim's stuff already? Curiosity. Just a little curiosity. And I'm gonna roll through these chats real quick too. Michael from Pace. Here in North Alabama, everybody camps water and Vienna sausages. Man, yeah, weekend campers. I mean, who wants to bring a bunch of crap out in the woods? But I guarantee you, 3 or 4 weeks of eating Vienna sausages and beanie weenies, you will be doing something different, or you will lose your damn mind. I can't eat crap cold food for more than about a week, and then then
I
you
can't
gotta
even.
either go in the town and get something to eat, or learn to cook something, and and not just that. That's why I've been kind of developing new recipes. It's like, yeah, what can I cook that's easy? What can I carry food wise that's going to keep for 2 or 3 days? Because that may be the hardest thing that you do, right, Jim? You've got a
Yeah,
cooler, so you can maybe keep stuff with a bag of ice for a little bit. But I don't have any. Usually, I don't have anything. I've carried those little insulated dry bags. I probably need to get another one of those because
yeah,
keeps the critters out and keeps your stuff a little bit longer. And you can throw some ice in there, and as long as you keep it out of the sun, it'll keep for a couple of days maybe. But yeah, you've got to worry about all that stuff in addition to not being bored out of your freaking mind, opening cans of crap and eating stuff out of a can. Ugh.
no, no.
Oh,
You know, in the long run, you don't want to be doing that. When I was 18, hot dogs were good. I don't, I can't eat hot dogs all weekend.
right.
Uh, but if you're going out for a weekend and it's beer and hot dogs, yeah, when you're 18, 20, you can do that.
Yeah. Well, it's the
But
same
if you're
with
going
those
out,
bowl in the bag meals. It's the same thing to
yeah,
me. It's great for a couple of days. It's like I can remember the first bowl of the bag meals I ate were like, oh, this is great. I get hot food and I don't have to do anything. Just boil some water, throw it in the thing, stir it up, and then it's like hot food. And once you do that and spend $15 for a stupid bag of rice, like,
yeah,
this is not that good. And I've heard that there's some good ones out there. And I would love to hear from those guys. I would love to hear from anybody that says, no, we've got something new, it's different. Even if it is 10, $12, if it's freaking delicious and it's actually two servings, not one, two servings. Who eats a serving that's this big? I don't know. I'm a fat ass, so maybe I'm the wrong guy to be talking about that. But that's
no,
one
I
serving
think,
for me, bro. I'm sorry. One serving. And I'm still hungry because it's all rice after you get through eating it.
yeah,
Newfoundland
no,
has bad roads. Dual sport bike would be best. Is that true, Jim?
no, it's not true.
I don't,
Uh,
the roads I've seen in your videos look pretty nice.
we've got some places that yes, there is some bad areas, yes,
Yeah,
uh, but they're not that bad. We've also got some areas where if you've got a big RV, uh, the sides of the roads are a little chewed up,
sure.
and it doesn't work. Um, the worst road I think in the province still is the road down to Burgeo, and that's one that most people don't do. Our main roads are all great. Most of the secondary roads are getting better. I've had some roads that surprised the heck out of me for just how good they were and how enjoyable they were. I'm going to try to get down to the Bay de Spear highway again this year. I haven't done that since 2021, maybe. And it was just a joy to be on. Um, Now, from here, from where I'm living up to Lansom Meadows and the Viking settlement, there are some sections that are a little bit rough, uh, but they're no rougher than what I was finding in secondary roads in Montana or Oregon or
Thank you.
California.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm finding that we are getting more and more sections upgraded. In the last 10 years, it's actually the amount of road work in the province has been quite fantastic. Um, so no, I don't think you don't have to have a dual sport on the province at all.
And this is coming from a guy
Any,
riding a gold wing pulling a trailer. So stop
yeah,
crying.
and I'm not
Or
opposed to any road.
reality.
Yeah. Um,
Well, so I got a question. You mentioned Lansing Meadows. I would love to get up there. What's it going to cost me physically to get up there? I'm going to have to spend $200 on a ferry there and back.
well, okay. The Canadian government dropped the ferry costs this past year and again this year. The ferry cost to cross in Port aux Basques for uh, myself and the trailer and the motorcycle was $120 Canadian before the drop in price.
Okay.
It's now probably about $60 Canadian,
Oh,
maybe 75, and so that means $50 US
okay,
to
cool.
get
Very
from
cool.
Nova Scotia to Newfoundland. Now the cabin's going to cost you an arm and a leg,
Sure.
so don't take a cabin. It's a
Yeah.
7-hour crossing. Um, Going
I
up to
couldn't
Lansom
sleep
Meadows.
anyway. I love ferries.
Oh, look, the daytime area is great. I've crossed at night and just caught 40-minute cat naps the whole night long, and I've been fine for like a 5-hour ride the next day. But if anyone wants to come to Newfoundland, I can give them, excuse me, some very good advice on what to do each day. West Coast, I think, has got the best riding.
Sure.
Rosemore National Park is fabulous, and I'm living on the edge of it right now. And between here and Lansom Meadows, St. Anthony, you're along the shore for 2/3 of it, and then you're a bit more inland. Uh, Going up to the Viking settlement and walking through where the Norse had set up camp, 1,000 years ago, is really awesome. It's
Yeah,
got a
yeah.
feel to it that it's quite unbelievable. And the interpretation center, and they've got a couple of they've built a longhouse as if it was the Norse settlement back then.
Right.
Uh, Lots of history and a lot of connection, but it's quite awesome to think that you're standing on the same place that the first Europeans were standing on, coming over.
Despite what all the
I'm,
historians want to tell you about history,
well,
the first Europeans.
it's like Columbus never ever discovered America. He
Right.
discovered a few islands in the Caribbean.
Yeah.
He never
Yeah.
touched
That's
the
funny.
mainland.
That's funny. Yeah. Nobody ever wants to talk about that, and
Mm,
nobody want to talk about the Vikings. I love the Vikings, man. Come on,
yeah,
real seamen.
and at one point they only thought they were here for like 3 or 4 years, but
Yeah.
um, due to carbon dating of wooden things that they've found in the last little while, they
Right.
know that settlement was in operation on and off for at least 30 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, the Vikings, I think, were definitely down into Nova Scotia. They might have easily been up the St. Lawrence. You
Yeah.
know, we're talking about guys who are looking to trade and find ways of making money anywhere. So they
They're not
travel.
scared.
They're not scared, like
Yeah.
the original vagabonds,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Adventure. Talk about adventure. Come on.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
pussies compared to those guys.
Ah, now if they had bikes, they would have been down through to Mexico.
Yeah.
Ah,
Would they
but
be
yeah,
pulling a mini mate?
ah, they would be pulling the equivalent. It's like the structures here. When they left here, they took all the timber and just burned the sod that was left because they reused the timber in Iceland. So they were hauling their shit everywhere.
Huh.
Um, no,
Masters of the sea, no doubt.
mm-hmm.
Yeah. What, 400 or 500 years before everybody else?
Oh yeah, and
Let me catch
don't
up on
forget,
some of these chats here. Michael from Pace started watching Jim's video when you started pulling a mini mate. I have not
good.
hear of any good roads. I guess you're talking about Newfoundland. Getting on the ferry, Argentina, the locals will protest because all the roads are all so bad. Raymond, not sure. I got a total peaceful protest. Yes, I'm assuming. I always assume there's a lot of crossover, a lot of people that are watching me or watching Jim, and vice versa. So,
Yeah,
well, Jim, you got anything else you want to talk about? Any ideas you want to put on these people before we shut it down? We've been going hour and a quarter here. So,
well,
anything? Words of wisdom. What have you learned in the last couple of years?
I think
Everybody
the
needs to
biggest
know.
thing for anyone is to find the systems that work for you. Uh, the I originally started with just a soft bag for keeping stuff cool in, and that was on the bike and just one burner stove and everything else, and that was okay for a while. And I went to the trailer because my I just could not get dressed on my knees anymore. It just was too hard. And it went from I could be out camping for a weekend and then I was done to I can be out on the road for 2 or 3 months and I'm still enjoying it. But
Right.
it's everyone needs to find their own ways and systems and just think about how they want to do things over either a weekend run or a 1 week run, um, how they want to budget in hotels and that whole thing, what they want to do for buying food as opposed to making food in camp, and if they want to spend their time looking um, for stealth or free camping spaces, or if they're okay with going into regular campgrounds. I've met a lot of people in regular campgrounds that I've been uh, had really good conversations with. I think
Sure.
some of the funniest ones were in Army Corps of Engineer campgrounds, where of course they're set up for people to drive in with a big RV or
Right.
haul in a big trailer. And here I'd pull in with the bike and the mini mate. And I don't know how many times I had people come over and talk to me, take a look at the mini mate and take a look at my setup and go, my total investment is under $10,000 now with a used Goldwing and the mini
Right.
mate.
Right.
And then they look over to their $140,000 RV
Or more.
and shake their heads and just wonder what they're doing.
Sure.
Um, but
Well, yeah,
everyone,
not just that, but you are an oddball. I've probably seen less than
yeah,
10 people pulling a mini mate or something like that in my whole life. And I know Bill pulls a mini mate behind his gold wing, and I probably know maybe run into, not know, but run into maybe two more. and then I've seen on top of that maybe four,
Yeah,
five, six my whole life. So you're an oddball. I know
yeah,
there's probably more people out there, but
yeah, and it's a different sort of travel, different sort
sure,
of motorcycling, and it's not for everyone. I will
yeah,
admit that. It's like there's some people who just it feels like it's too much work.
right,
Um, but everyone has got to find out, find their level of comfort, their level of what they want to do, um, and and that boils right down to can you survive on just stuff out of a can or what you can cook on a fire, or do you need to up that game?
yeah.
Uh,
Well, it goes back to comfort. If you're not
yeah,
comfortable, how long are you going to stay out? If you're uncomfortable, and I think that's why most people don't camp on a motorcycle because it sucks. If you're sleeping on the
oh yeah,
ground, if you're wet, if it's just every morning you get up and go, oh, I got to get up off the ground. Oh, I got to walk over there half a mile and take a shit. And then, oh, I want to take a shower. Bugs. So I think it's just they're not prepared, which is why they don't go very far or stay out very long. And, if you can carry all the comforts of home with you, you'll stay out longer, right?
yeah. It doesn't have to be all the comforts, but enough to get you past where it's uncomfortable.
Right. Right.
Um, so it's you know, everyone has got their limits. We always push them. I can remember the first year I had the mini mate. I went down to Alabama, or not to Alabama, but North Carolina in September, late September,
Uh-huh.
and oh, it's October actually. And I was on the Blue Ridge Parkway, and they warned us that the bears were starting to get ready to hibernate, but they were out looking for the last meal.
Uh-huh.
And there, we had a windstorm up on the Blue Ridge, and I was at one of the campgrounds there. Woke up the next morning. I'd been talking to a guy who had pulled in the night before uh, on his Harley with just a small tent and everything else. And wind was just absolutely howling. Still able to cook a steak, and I got in my tent, ate, and then crawled in and went to sleep. There was frost on the bike the next morning. So it was just above zero. But anyway, this poor guy, two campsites over, with his small tent, he was just absolutely frozen and miserable.
Uh,
Um, and he was kind of wishing that, um, like, I don't know, he would change his thoughts on future camping, I'm sure. Um, but we've all got to find what our limits are,
yep.
push them a bit, find out what works for us, um, and and that's the big thing. Like, there's no one's doing it totally right. We're all doing it right enough.
Yeah, that's funny. And if you're not learning all the time, you're probably not doing it right too. If you're not learning something, yeah, everybody
Yeah.
thinks we all have it figured out, but we don't.
Oh fuck no, no, no.
Well,
I'm
Tim, it
looking
was
forward to this summer and some of the things I will do different this summer.
yeah, yeah, great talking to you once again, Jim. If you don't know Jim's channel, it's Old Guy on a Bike, right, Jim?
Yep,
You
that's
got
it.
several hundred videos, riding around, camping, cooking, everything you need to know about uh, living in the hotel that you pull behind a bike. You can see on his channel, and we'll probably have another live stream tomorrow with Rusty, the guy that video that came out this morning with Rusty and his Alaska adventures. We'll talk more about that tomorrow night. So it's a cold, blustery weekend, but we're going to try to have some fun in front of the camera. So y'all join us tomorrow. probably around dark, I guess. We hadn't scheduled it, but I would guess around dark. But thanks once again, Jim. Good talking to you again, man. And
Anytime,
maybe
Don.
maybe we'll see you this spring.
Maybe.
All right.